Hey everyone, this is Sharice Moore coming on for our scripture memory tip number 1 for the month of October. Wow, you all, our third month in, aren't you excited? Now the tip of the month, the one that begins the month, it really doesn't change. We want to stay steady and start out strong. And remember, the memory tips are for those who struggle with studying and memorizing scripture. That it's really hard for them. And so I give these tips for those of you who know how to memorize and you don't struggle at all. You don't have to do the memory tips. They're just suggestions to help us focus. I like them and I use them. And our memory tip for the very first one is always the same. 1, you've chosen your verse for the month of October. I hope you went to the thread. It's already been posted on yesterday, October 1st, for you to put your verse down where it's found in the Bible and the version that you're using. Then, what we're going to do, you're going to read your verse 3 times each day for 3 times for the entire week. So what that means is you're going to read your verse. If it was, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 23:1. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 23:1. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 23:1. That's your first time that day. So set the times of the day that you're going to read it. And when you do read it, you're going to read it aloud 3 times in the version of the Bible that you chose to memorize it in. Now you have to be intentional with this because you're going to read it actually from Scripture because you want to make sure that you're getting the words right, familiarizing yourself with the new verse. Because this is your new verse for the month. And you're going to do this 3 times out of the day. So you want to select the time of day that you're going to do it. You could do it in the morning, maybe at lunchtime, before you go to bed. You pick the time that's convenient for you, that you're going to stop and read your verse. Now, some are doing one verse. Some are doing an entire chapter. Others are doing multiple verses. So this is important, especially when you have multiple verses. The next thing you do is you're gonna write your verse on an index card or cardstock, piece of paper, or whatever you choose to use. It is really up to you. And you're going to have it in multiple places so you can read. So now if you're one of the people that travel around a lot of different places, you're always busy, then you want to make multiple verses. Not verses, but versions of your scripture. Maybe carry one in your purse, post one to your mirror, put one in your car, put one in the bag you carry all the time. Because you may be somewhere, for example, you could be standing in line at the grocery store somewhere. It's a long line. And you're like, wow, I could practice my verse and memorizing and thinking about it. Because I can focus your mind. But you can't remember it and you don't have a device or something on you to look it up. But if you kept that card in your purse, you could whip it out, a piece of paper, whatever you choose to write it on, and you can practice your verse. Now, I choose to do my verses, and I'm going to try to show one to you. Here's mine here. And this month, I chose to do several verses, so I had to make 2 cards. So I'll try to turn mine over. I'm going to put a picture of my verses, but this is my card. And this is my verse, and this is what I did. And it was so long that I had to flip it on the back and put a part of my verse. And then I had to do another card because I'm memorizing 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 6 through 10. And I still had to write on the back. So I did mine with some cardstock that a dear sister of mine sent me. And I decided to use what she sent. And I did some embellishments on it, put some little colors. And I like to decorate. It just kind of encourages me. It gives me an opportunity to be creative real quick because I don't get a chance to do the creative side as much because I'm extremely busy. So this gives me a chance to be a little creative and it gives me a chance to look at something pretty. But you don't have to do yours pretty. You may not want to do that. Put it on a piece of paper. That is so cool. Do it whatever way is comfortable for you. Just write your verses out. Now here's the third thing that I want to add to our memory tip number 1. Here's an important key. So far, you have learned verses for 2 months. You want to review your verses that you've already learned once a week. So once every week, you're going to review the ones that you previously learned. So August and September verses, once a week, you want to review them. Practice them. That's so that you can hone them in and they'll stick. Because if you don't go back and revisit them, you might forget them. But once you do it over and over again, it'll just be like, it'll be second nature to you, and you won't forget them. So you got to practice them for a little while, even after the month has passed. So you want to practice. So remember, you want to read your verses for the first week 3 times a day. And on the times a day that you do it, you want to read the verse 3 times aloud. Each time you practice your verse. So throughout the day, you will have read your verse 9 times. Take the time to do this. Memorizing scripture is so exciting. Remember to post the verse in your I'm tongue-tied today, in the thread for the October verses. So 1, we can hold you accountable. 2, we can be praying for you. And 3, we get to read the scriptures along with you. This is so exciting. So I'm looking forward to reading your verses. All right? You have a wonderful week. Thanks for chatting with me. Bye.